Hello, everyone. It's a brand new
Hello.
best of 7. Hello, Poppet.
Solid.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then it's
Who's this Australian that I'm casting with?
Yeah, Australian. It's in English. Anyways, in the bottom left, there's the red Terran. He is the Korean bunny.
Hey, you should tell me about my accent some more. Teach me some things. And at the top right here from Europe, the Beast. A lot of people say he's the best in the world. We will see. This is Serral.
Okay, but like I just took that from Pirates of the Caribbean. All right, so
yeah. Well, you know what? Australians, people are like, hey, what is the Australian accent? I describe it as pirate.
Really? So yes. You know, I'm gonna hear a lot of poppets. Poppets.
I mean, there is poppets, and there is a lot of things that, like, I think when Johnny Depp was trying to go pirate, he actually just listened to Australians for a bit.
Okay.
I'm chiming in, by the way. Interrupting both of you for just 1 second. Because we have the best viewer base on goddamn Twitch. We just had over 200 codes used up in the last few minutes here. So we're at $7,000. We're at $7,054 to be precise for that prize pool. So if you guys, round of applause all around. There's still tons of codes left, but that is the minimum goal what we wanted with this tournament, the $7,000 mark. So thank you all for helping us reach that goal.
Awesome stuff. But what does an Australian with a lisp sound like?
An Australian with a lisp?
Yeah. Is it any funnier than an American with a lisp?
I mean, isn't it the same thing?
Is that really? Is that? I don't think you would say shrimp as thrimp. Like, I don't think that's what a lisp.
No, I mean, also Australians don't. The whole thing with that is that we never say shrimp. Shrimp is something that doesn't exist in this country. We have prawns.
Like District 9. Just on the Barbie.
District 9. Like District 9. God damn it, Zombie Grub. Yeah, what we do is all the aliens that landed in Australia, we grab them, we break them in half, and we're like, get on the barbecue, you prawn. And that's what we say to them.
Oh my god, that's actually where they put District 9. They said it was somewhere like South Africa or something like that, but it was in Australia. And they're just hoping eventually you'll eat them all.
Yeah, no one noticed either, because a giant spaceship flying over our island in the middle of buttfuck nowhere is not noticed by the world. The world does not know.
I mean, what even happens in Australia? Like the one shining moment you guys had is when the ozone layer was depleted, and it was literally shining. Got it?
Huh. Good one. Good one.
And then it got repaired, and no one cared.
You know what my favorite jokes are? Science jokes.
Hey, aren't they though?
Yeah,
I don't think the sun got any brighter because it was depleted though. Actually, I don't know.
It's the same because it's the sun.
Same. Okay, well, that bought us enough time to get somewhat into the build orders.
Yeah,
we could talk about how amazing these players are, but no.
I mean, there is something we can say about these players. Like, yeah, I brought up that Serral is pretty beastly in ZvT right now. The patch has been treating him well. But also, I'm pretty sure I saw Bunny 3-0 Rogue not long ago, so he's not too shabby at TVZ himself.
Well, I mean, that's... So, Serral is one of the best players in the world. Okay, I don't know. Maybe that's a fake, maybe not. And Bunny has been surprising us by even advancing this far in terms of like top tier Korean Terrans. This guy was not what we had in mind most of the time, but man, he's finally gotten to a consistent top tier Terran in the last couple of months. I think he performed okay at the GSL as well. I don't think he got through though. But going against Serral is also gonna be difficult. Lag, no lag. They both are on really terrible parts of the world for each other, but it is really gonna come down to raw skill.
Neither are in their optimal positions, but it's impossible to have that when you're on literally the other side of the planet of each other. Oh, that's a big resub. 43 months in a row. God damn.
That it is. That was not a fake cloak. He got the medevac instead of a Viking. I guess is actually what we see a lot of other Terran players do into the Banshee. So, I mean, this is a lot of stuff committed to a mech army, it looks like, but there is that chance he still starts stim. Mech is definitely... Yeah, I mean, I'm certainly go for Hellbats with the Banshee combo. And I think he is going to go into mech. Just throwing out that some people really delay that stim.
Yeah, mech's certainly been I guess, the go-to for most Terrans in TVZ at the moment. Even on Korea, where a lot of people like to go for, you know, bio and that sort of thing. like your Bjorns and your Innovations and such. The mech is just... It seems objectively of a stronger unit composition against Zerg at the moment with the current balance of things, but we've seen it work, and there's those 2 factories going down, so mech will be on the menu.
Yeah, okay. Oh, this is something that Serral might just expect. A couple of Banelings was just enough to help out, including the Queen's focus firing the Banshee. Honestly, that was also a little bit Bunny not combining his units so much as he was attacking first the Banshee, then the Reaper, then the Hellbats, but Queen's pretty good defensive unit against everything, and he was missing 4 of their Hellions and a Medevac.
What a scrub. Get good.
Yeah, of course. These are all little pokes and prods, not really meant to win the game. If he really wanted to win the game, I think he would have committed everything, literally everything to the front lines to try and do, like, extreme damage. But he was hoping to kind of get more of a distraction, you know, something over here or over there, and instead he got nothing anywhere. The main was defended, the third was defended, but he still has an army to kind of patrol around, stop creep spread, keep tabs on what Serral is doing.
Yeah, it's important to keep these Hellions alive. Of course, you lose the map to the Zerg if you don't have them alive, and then continuing to pressure along here. Turning into Hellbats could burn down this hatchery before it finishes. Looks like it will.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Serral almost late to canceling that. Nicely done.
It looks like we got double Thor on the way here for Bunny. I haven't seen the Medevacs just yet, so it doesn't look like Thor drop, but play of it. I mean, generally the Starport's reactoring out a couple of Medevacs at this point, but isn't the case for Bunny.
Nice find. Nice find. I mean, I'm not sure Serral was going to get as much as he was hoping for anyways, considering that it is a mech. Hellions will also be able to kite down those Banelings, but that could have been such a surprise on top of that ramp that he would have accidentally run into them. So nice to just get that cancel. Now, Serral also not looking for really to end the game with anything here. Serral is he's very much so a macro beast, so he's comfortable just taking advantages of defense here. He's seeing the third base is being taken, knowing that it's mech, realizing there's not going to be a push for a while. And because the Medevacs were not reacted out like you were talking about, there's not even like a Thor drop here. He's got to repair that Medevac before he can really try. Yeah.
The Thor drop is really like the biggest scary thing that a mech player can do with harassment. Like, yeah, there's Hellbats, yeah, there's Hellions, but Zergs, especially Zergs as good as Serral, are very good at denying that kind of harassment, as we're before our very eyes right now. The Thor drop, however, very, very tough to deal with. These Banshees even getting picked off by the Queens and the Overseer.
That's unfortunate. You know, if you can't actually do damage, you can't get into the drone line, you can't get on top of the Queens, at the very least you can just leave units patrolling the creep spread so it doesn't get absolutely insane. But Serral is reacting appropriately. Always an Overseer where he needs it, always Lings where he needs it. The creep spread is kind of getting way out there on the most important side of the map, the right side of the map, where Bunny is probably most likely to start pushing.
And he is going for that double Thor drop, albeit a little bit later than regular, which means that the anti-air count of Serral is quite good, as we're seeing.
I liked the decision from Bunny to give up the Thor, as opposed to trying to save it and lose basically everything. But that is painful, to lose a big old Thor like that.
It's expensive. Serral breaking down the rocks, which is what the Zerg wants. More avenues of attack, more things for the Terran to have to worry about, especially considering he's going for a pretty immobile army here. Big Baneling force with Hydras coming in and looking for that mineral line. The Banelings should be taken out before they get to the SCVs.
Okay, Bunny almost made a tragic mistake by rallying him into the other gas geyser.
Yeah, almost, but he didn't.
Yeah, well, the Banelings got distracted, I think. So Serral not able to break that third base, but he did get the cancel. Yeah, the cancel on that fourth.
Cancel question mark?
Yeah, I didn't kill it. Building's lost. So Bunny is going to have to place that in his natural, a little bit of a denial on the economy. Scan to see the hive timing. That is not so much a worrisome hive timing. It isn't like, you know, there's Broodlords already on the way, but that is something that Serral is looking to get to with that Spire now placed down.
Yeah, Bunny started to make a little bit of a SimCity here to make things a little bit tougher for, big run buys and for big attacks on the Zerg. Just dropping supply depots down, engineering bays down can make things a little bit tough for the Zerg to have to circumnavigate to that planetary. Well, actually, it's an orbital up there, but the planetary is for the fourth base and so on. We have a Hellbat dunk attempt here from Bunny looking for a drone line. Meanwhile, the Hellions pushing from the top. There are enough to be pretty scary for the Zerg, but with the Hydras, makes things a little bit easier on the defense.
I love that he's using his Medevacs, at least for harassment. Of course, using them on the front lines to heal your Hellbats is also pretty good, so don't like that he just lost it, but it's something besides just hoping that they never see your Hellions go across the map.
Queen nearly kills that. Medevac doesn't quite get it. These Hydras and Banelings look to be high enough in number to deflect those Hellions from the North Hatchery. The Hellbats get cleaned up as well, so Serral only losing 4 drones at the end of that. Bunny managing to keep his SCV count quite high, though, with the midst of all this counterattacks and run-by attempts from Serral. Both players not able to really harass each other at all.
Yeah, it's a good point. You know, as much as we were talking about the Zerg being able to defend all points of harassment, Bunny's also been pretty on top of things. A little late to the 3rd base, but nothing died. 4th base was canceled, but it was a very fresh 4th base, so the timing wasn't really too much delayed. It is a pretty solid TVZ going into this late game, but that will put Bunny into the, I think, more awkward position of dealing with Broodlords. It's totally possible. I'm not saying this is an impossible, like, well, this is just imbalanced, but it is difficult. You know, the Thor's getting in the proper position, getting enough Vikings, not getting Parasitic Bombed to death. There's a lot of control that's going to come down here, but Bunny is reaching towards that point. He's not trying to hit before Vipers. He's not trying to take them out as he pushes. I think he's going to have to actually deal with Broodlords.
It's picking up Overseer there, and some of these blue flame aliens just looking to get rid of some of that creep and pull the Zerg army back a little bit and make him think twice about moving for an attack here. There is a lot from Bunny. Tons of Hellions. He's like... I mean, if there were Swarm hosts, I'd feel really, really good for Bunny. These Hellions actually could engage the Hydras and the Lings when they had this high count as well.
Yeah. What's nice is...
Another denial there.
If they don't die, that's sometimes pretty important because Banelings can glide into them. They're going to be great to help wash off the Broodlings whenever those Broodlords who come in. This ends... It ends up not getting very much, although maybe could have gone for the command center. That was quite low.
Yeah, actually...
But leaving room for Broodlords, perhaps? No. He makes Lings.
Yeah, trying to get those Ling counts up. Lings, funnily enough, well, Lings and Banes are funnily enough not a terrible option against Mech, but they need Viper support, and the Vipers are here for Serral. Only 4 of them, 3 of them maxed up on Juice, and looking for those blinding clouds, but Bunny's spreading those tanks out. These ones, not so much.
This is a pretty nice composition. I was worried he had maybe too many Hellbats. Uh-oh.
Hello.
I was worried he had too many Hellbats, and Banelings would be ultra effective, but no, there's a decent number of tanks, and a deep tank line, too, that Vipers won't be able to get amazing blinding clouds, and they'll die if they try with how many Vikings are in the sky.
Now, yes, a bunch of SCVs just died there for Bunny. The CC is still alive, although it is quite low, and these Lings... Oh, God, and he can't repair it at the moment either, because the Lings are sort of stopping the SCVs from getting down there. A little bit tough for Bunny, but this push, this army does look quite scary. He's up 30 and a bit army supply, and can continue to pressure.
That's a good point. And with how many Vikings he has, even if Broodlords do come out, they're going to have to be careful. He lands the command center again. This is really bad. Only Ling should be so easy to deal with as a mech player. Hellions who do 2 at a time and are super fast. Oh my God, it lives. And instead, it took like a minute almost to clean this up. A lot of denied mining, and Bunny... He's trying to kind of win this game with this push. You know, he doesn't have a lot of command centers. He's now getting a 5th base, which is still appropriately timed, but he's not like getting a bunch of orbitals, a bunch of command centers. You know, he's not preparing with Thors for the Broodlords. And he is only mining off of 3 bases, with that 4th being denied.
I think the Broods will be really, really nice here. I mean, obviously they're going to be really, really nice here for Serral. The Viking count isn't too scary. He still has Vipers, of course, as well. Forcing another lift on the CC, by the way. But, I mean, Bunny's tank line, it is very tough for Serral to get in here and take an efficient trade against this tank line. It spreads so far. And look at all that lava here in this hatchery.
It's all going to die. Now, Serral, he does have other bases to go to. You know, he has kind of backup bases. One in the bottom right, which should die, but more importantly, some to the top. Oh, I guess he really wants that gas. I was like, well, that's a pretty nice Hellion denial, but if you want the gas, you want the gas.
A lot of SCVs going down here to these Banelings. Bunny unsieged and going for a big A move here. Parasitic Bomb goes down these Vikings, but, I mean, turned down for what? There's just not that many Vikings. Doesn't really matter. The mech army on the ground is just a very, very strong push here from Bunny.
What is Serral waiting for? He has a ton of larva. He has a ton of bank. He's not making anything, and now it's too late as the reinforcements will be colliding into tanks.
I mean, he's making 19 Hydras and 32 Lings now, but they are too little, too late. This is a ton of damage from Bunny. Looking to be game-ending here as the Broodlords start to get thinned out by the Vikings that are left.
That was almost like a shock. I feel like I just witnessed someone in shock right there. All right, he does have that Spire, and Broodlord's not the one thing you can make from that. So mutas are on the way, something that, you know, usually when you know there's Broodlords on the way, you get a couple of Thors. But in this case, Vikings were enough, and there is no anti-air besides those Vikings, but Thors are on the way.
He's making 3 at a time back at home. Bunny just sort of crossing his T's, dotting his I's here, sees those mutas and is just going to continue to make Thors back at home. Happy with his damage that he's done. I mean, he can start to... he's killed a couple hatcheries. The game is not over yet. He's going to lose all these tanks.
Yeah, he's going to lose all the tanks.
Oh my god, the drone count dead. Oh my god.
This is such a weird game. The economy was absolutely destroyed for Serral, but he didn't use all of his bank quite to make those mutas, and they are very effective. The Thors had to make their way across in a gigantic map to help those tanks, and they were just not able to. So retreating back, giving Serral a lot of time to replace what ended up being 50 drones lost. Oh, God.
Splitting off a couple mutas there to try and keep the monster alive. Oh, man. Blood pressure rising for me. Watching this game.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have had those whiskey tumblers.
Yeah, right? I still am a little, like, bewildered at how long it took Serral to make an army. I think he really was trying to think, as opposed to just reacting immediately, and eventually got to the great idea of making mutas.
150 supply of mech army coming at him, and he's just, like, sitting there scratching his chin with his hand off the keyboard, like, what is the correct move? And
mutas, it's nice.
He's like, of course, it's so clear. And he makes 20 mutas.
Yeah, and then it ended up being the right move, but now he has to adapt. He just made as many drones, I guess he could, which is not very many. This might be a big enough army. There's not much fodder in a magic box plus the Hydras.
Yeah, I think if everything comes together, this army of Bunny will die. Very much so, even though it's got 3-3. It's in a bit of an awkward spot here. The Thors are in that splash damage anti-air, so they're ready for those mutas. But,
I realize that in Bunny may be making a big mistake here, so he's still denying bases. Great that he got that and can even leave right now, but never got the bottom right. And that is the mining base, a mining base, sort of. I don't know if that's going to be enough, though. It seems like Bunny, especially since he has extra orbitals, is going to be able to maneuver on the map just so much better.
I like Bunny's spot here. Up quite a bit in workers, like you said, he's got these extra bases, they're better saturated. Serral's bank not good anymore. It's gone. And Bunny's just continuing to make more and more of these tanks. His Viking count's okay. He has these Thors. He has these Hellbats spread out, ready for an attack. Like, he's just looking good, man. And
that, now that he remembers, okay, that base is down there. It's one of the last mining bases. He's just going to send Hellions, like, one at a time even, is going to be enough to distract and kill a bunch of drones. So that's always going to be a weak point. Serral is since losing his 3rd and 4th, his 5th and 6th are literally opposite sides of the map. Even with fast mutas, it's going to be tough to keep up with any harassment that comes down. They're down here while Hellions go up north. Do catch a couple of Hellbats not protected. I mean, the mutas are still a powerful tool, even if they've gotten much weaker as Legacy Void has gone on. Well, try and spread while you can, I guess.
Anyone wants to barbecue?
Yeah, that was... Spine Crawlers just don't deal damage fast enough, especially without any Sin City to help out, but no missile turrets, so SCVs do go down, but Serral, this is actually his lifeline. The mutas have to deal damage, they have to keep the army back, they have to help with the main army engagement when it comes, and I don't think they're really up for that job. That many jobs.
Yeah, I mean, they have +2 attack, so they hit pretty hard, but they are still very squishy. Their mobility... Their ninja tactics is what these mutas exist for. And as the Thor count gets higher and higher, I mean, eventually Bunny's going to push, and eventually these mutas need to fight, because they are a good chunk of Serral's army, and they are going to just evaporate to a high Thor count.
Unfortunately, there's not many other compositions that Serral can go to help him out. Those mutas were fantastic. There's literally no anti-air against the tanks, but Swarm Hosts, nope, Hellbat Thors are fine against that. Broodlords, well, Thors are still around, so they're fine against that. Really, Serral needs a number army, and he doesn't have it. He can't get it. No. Serral is absolutely going to lose this game.
Yeah, he's out of options now. The Broodlords, could have been an option, but he just such a long time to be able to afford it, to be making what he can with what he has. At the moment, he's getting a couple of Vipers out, and they may be okay for yanking a couple tanks or Blighting Cloud a couple tanks, but they have no utility other than the ability to maybe parasitic bomb these Vikings, but, I mean, for what?
Yeah. Very important base going down. That just seemed inevitable. And this base is going to fall after. The last hurrah is incoming. This is only game number 1, however, and while Serral probably thought he was in a great position up until that engagement, he had so much larvae, had so much bank. Maybe there's a little bit of a shock of like, oh shit, like I'm actually losing this game. It is just game number 1.
Good old CJ Entis Bunny, man. I remember this kid. Look how good he is at this game.
Yeah, Bunny was...
People don't think about him when they think about the best Terrans in the world. Oh, catching a big train transfer there. Timber's going down still.
Yeah, no, they really don't. But the thing is Bunny, you know, glad you brought up CJ. He has been on a lot of different teams. He's been around the block a couple times. He has had his moments of appearing to be the next big thing. When he was on CJ, he was one of their best Terrans. When he was on Dust, he did well in the SSL, or not the SSL, the VSL. There we go, the VSL.
The VSL, yeah.
There we go. And now he is looking quite good in the People Images tournament.
Certainly poised to take the victory here in this first map. Serral going for his last hurrah here. Tons of banelings rolling on through. And it be but not enough Rogue. GG. Bunny taking game number 1.
So,
Indeed.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but this moment stuck with me. The first big fight that had the Vipers barely had a parasitic bomb come down towards the end. There's like no blinding clouds. I don't know if Serral got caught off guard or if it was that moment of just being flustered and like, huh, like what do I do here? But I feel like that's where the game started falling apart on him, when his Vipers were questionably used in the very first big engagement.
Yeah, I didn't really notice so much as I guess you were noticing, because I was just noticing the larva and the bank problem. That's why my eyes are going to, like, well, what is he remaxing with? And then that question lingered for like 20 seconds.
Well, that was actually a really long game, guys, and I'm going to throw us to another. This one will be short. I promise you this will be shorter than average. This will be a quick commercial break. We'll see you guys in a couple minutes with game number 2. And if you're just tuning in, it's still the start of the series. It's best of 7, but it's the last best of 7 we cast today. All right, folks, welcome back. It's Rifkin's turn to step into the arena. Zomgrab now is going to get a nice little break as we continue to rotate out every couple games here. But gotta give a big shout out before we get into the game here, before we do the intros. Therodin, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, sir, threw $70.69 into the prize pool for this. Says, long live Yuri Arkurs, long live BaseTradeTV, and long live StarCraft. Those are very... Yeah, here. Wise words, dude. Wise words. Oh, I see. He actually donated $69.69, but he also used the free dollar code because he's a hero, so... a little bit trolly in the best kind of way. At any rate, guys, we are well over $7,000 now, which is awesome, and I want to see all those codes used up. We got 1 day left of the tournament tomorrow. Talk more of that in a moment. Until then, to the top left, not proxying, thank God, it's the blue Terran, Bunny.
And in the bottom right with a rough game 1, but can certainly pull it back, and I fully expect him to be able to do so. This is Serral.
Yeah, there's a couple of key... It reminded me a lot of actually the series we just cast with DNS versus Bly, where the mistakes DNS were making were very uncharacteristic of him, and I feel that was somewhat similar to what happened to Serral in that game just now. Talk a little bit about the Vipers, but of course, like, the hesitant decision making, you know, banking all that money, thinking like, do I go mutas, do I go links? Like, Serral is a better player than this, and I'm not saying like he's infallible. He's allowed to make mistakes. He's human, or at least so we suspect. But I just it was so strange to watch him, of all people, make what felt like really basic mistakes.
Yeah, there's certainly a couple moments there which, yeah, you sort of go, huh. Things that make you go,
But that's the thing about StarCraft, right? We go back to it, like it's a game about trying to sometimes just make your opponent make a mistake. But that's why it was weird for me, guys. That's why it stood out, because it wasn't Serral being forced into a mistake. It was Serral making the mistake, and that's where I think the key difference here of like giving Bunny credit versus harping on Serral comes into play. But I don't want to dwell on that. I'm hoping to see a better game. I'm hoping to see no mistakes out of this very amazing Zerg player, frankly.
Yeah, right. Neither of us are ever gonna pick on people too hard because they're always going to be better than us.
This makes for a really interesting. This makes a really interesting dynamic for the finals, by the way. Like, let's get ahead of ourselves for just a moment, right? Let's say Bunny actually wins the series and he's going to the finals versus DNS. Bunny defeated Hero. I want to remind people of this. Like, there's no Terrans in Korea that could beat Hero except for Bunny, apparently. So Bunny versus DNS could make for very unexpected finals, but on the other hand, if Serral goes through as you would maybe expect, and it's Serral versus DNS, I don't know, man. Like, the fact that DNS is the one opposing either of these two in the finals, A, guaranteeing not a mirror matchup, but B, creating two very different dynamics for in terms of balance and the players, like, I don't know, I'm so stoked no matter who it's going to be.
Absolutely. If you ask any of the high-level Korean Terrans that are like, 6.5k MMR and higher, they actually don't believe TVP is winnable at all. Like, they actually don't see it our way to win at all. They face people like Zest and Hero every day on ladder, and they're just like, well, I just lose them every time. They farm ladder points off me, and there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, it was like Innovation stream title today was literally buff Terran win, please.
Yeah, I think Terran Innovation is one of those special souls, though, that believes that Terran's just weak against everybody. Whereas, as it stands with balance, it's a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors situation where Terran seems to be beating Zerg, but Zerg seems to be beating Protoss, and Protoss seems to be beating Terran. It's a little bit weird. Anyway. We have a layer on the way with Baneling Nest, so looking to be Ling Bane Hydra coming out from Serral, and once again the cloak opening coming out of Bunny here.
Yeah, so I wasn't too sure or even too keen on the medevac version. We saw the drops be kind of ineffective, and it does eat up a lot of gas. I mean, Terran later on, you get some gas leeway, but in the first bit of the game, every gas counts, and spending 100 on a medevac like that, not something you can really afford to do. So I do like that he's going straight to the Banshees, because I think the time delay is what really killed their effectiveness last game. Having them out quicker this game might actually result in some kills.
Indeed. Hellions looking for anything here. The third's been locked down pretty nicely by Serral, I think some defensive banelings as well. I like that Serral's like not one of those players to, invest in a Roach Warren and really freak out against possible Hellbat pushes. He's just relying on banelings and gearing towards the the later stages of the game. Usually the double evos are on the way, you got your 1-1s on the way, and you're looking to, push that late game with your upgrades and your better army. But so you see your Bunny going meching one more time with the factories getting on the way here, 2 of them more to meet the one that's already done. And double armies going down as well.
First off, this scuffle is really nice. You see if the Link's going to top this, but High Ground Brush is going to give him an escape route. I was going to just comment, though, and I realized this only just now, and we'll have to look for it more in the series. Serral plays this very similar to the way a Laser plays this in terms of, like, scouting. It's only one Overlord across the map, so when that Viking pops out, it doesn't have 5 or 6 kills to pick up easily. It's going to get its second one in the main, if that. Like, this is not free Overlords, which is already great for Serral. We watched too many Zerg players lose, like, 5 Overlords in the early stages of the game.
Yeah. If this was Maynard, all of those Hellions would go straight into that Baneling cluster and die. But this is Bunny we're looking at here, so of course they're all still alive. Doing a great little stutter step maneuver there, keeping themselves off creep, keeping themselves nicely positioned. These Banshees rather being very, very nice position. Even the Reaper helping out these Hellions against those Banelings.
Yeah, I love the little bunny hop. Oh, no pun intended. It makes them do. Like, while they're in the air, it's a free target for like half a second, but the point is they're not moving, they're not attacking, so it's... The grenade doesn't do a lot of damage, but the fact that it immobilizes things for even half a second, totally worth. Banshees were driven off but not killed, so they'll meet up with the Hellions here. This should get a kill on the base now. This is not... Oh, this is so low. Oh, no, but the wall's not up. Somehow this guy walls off... He walls up perfectly on Black Pink and then fucks up a wall in Odyssey. A map where people are putting barracks down here first as their expansion path. Like, this kind of sucks for Bunny, frankly.
Yeah, he does get that hatchery at least. It's a lot of damage getting rid of that gold base. He has a third of his own back at home, but he is losing SCVs to the Zerglings of Serral.
Those Hellbat trades weren't bad, though. You guys look at the resources lost. To trade out Banelings like that is always going to be more effective for the player, just losing minerals through those Hellbats. This was, and the base kill for the gold on top of it, this was a really good push for Bunny, despite the damage he took back at home.
And it's Thor harassment time as well. See that he's changing into the high impact payload and is loading those up into the medevacs ready for that harassment. Of course, the Thor drop play in game 1 didn't do very well. Looks like that Ling Serral may have just caught the outside of this medevac drop here, but Serral's played knifey spoony before. He knows that this is about the timing when the Thor's going to start hitting him, so he is starting to pump out those Hydras.
You can always say that for the whole, like, oh, that's not a knife, until the medevac skins come in, where they literally have 2 knives on the front of the medevacs.
It's going to be cool when someone eventually makes battle cruisers with that skin. They have those giant knives. Big run by here with the Hellions. That's a barbecue if I've ever seen one, and as an Australian, I consider myself an expert. 13 drones dying there to that run by.
Throw a prawn on the barbie.
That's it. You adjusted. Look, you're learning.
I got you, bud. Wall still not done though. So Bunny perhaps the one not learning here. This is gonna cost him a lot of unnecessary kills. And what's so killer about this is that Wall's perfectly fit to just float his barracks down. He's not using it for anything.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. What is that barracks doing?
It's not plugging the hole in the wall is what it's doing. This is bad. Actually, this might be
coming in here. This is quite scary.
Yeah, Bunny does have 1-1 going for him, so that's gonna help a little bit here, more for the Thors than anything else. But this is like, the run-bys are pulling his army out of position. It's killing more Hellions than it should. It's delayed what should be a gigantic Blue Flame army, but now it's like 5.5 Hellions. Oh, base even gonna get denied down here too. Wonderful moves out of Serral.
Yeah, it's nice little move here with this Hydra Cluster. Serral actually splitting up his army. He is the embodiment of a good StarCraft player. You won't catch this guy 1Aing, and he's doing a great job controlling both armies and both fronts here. These Hydras, however, are meeting a lot of Blue Flame Hellions. Blue Flame finishing just in time for Bunny to be able to fight this engagement. The Siege Tank sieging a little bit late here. Does Serral have the Hydra count to get the job done? He's target firing down those Siege Tanks, and he does get one down at the third. Is there enough for Bunny with these reinforcements to hold against this Hydra flood?
Serral might not be Anakin, but he still has to be scared of that high ground.
It always makes me cringe a little bit, but it still makes me smile. The high ground Anakin thing.
I hated prequel memes for a while. I'm just fully immersed in it now. I can't deny it. Oh, this is gonna be a nice catch on the medevac. Oh no! Oh, micro moves out of Bunny right now are insane.
Oh, guess what? There it is.
But you got all the Hydras for this. This was such a better trade than it should have been.
It's like, you see a Thor dying in the medevac and you're like, la 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 la, but meanwhile, 10 Hydralisks die and you don't realize how much that costs the Zerg. That's so expensive.
Oh man, that was a good move for Bunny. He was in a pretty rough spot. He's still not in a great spot, but he is going to push, knowing there's a lot less Hydras than there were a few moments ago.
Oh, these links.
There was an attempt made to put the wall, by the way. He did build another depot, but didn't replace the one he lost.
It's almost a wall. 2 more depots, and that's a wall, Rifkin.
There's like a Reddit for that, right? Like, /r, there was an attempt. It was basically this wall.
Yeah. There's also another one that was you have one job. And I want to be looking at those SCVs in the natural, like, come on, it's 200 minerals, and that's a complete wall up. But anyway.
Are there enough banelings for this? There's only going to be about 18 in play for this.
Yeah, they're coming down now. With the Hydras, I think maybe. Depends if he can get that concave. Actually, he's been bullied back into his natural, so maybe not.
Yeah, this is really interesting. The ramp is normally a big disadvantage for players, but in this case, it's working out for Bunny in terms of positioning. Now, this base is being taken down, so that's not going to be a problem, but Serral's setting up for another surround, and he knows that if you want to screw over siege tanks, and you don't have blink DTs, you go for the surround.
Meanwhile, those banelings come crashing on in, and the Hydrals count on the high ground and the low ground are actually starting to push on through this big concave of Hydrals from Serral.
This ended up trading way better for Bunny than it should have, though, because the Hydras on the left side got caught with the Hellions. If they just moved past them and went straight to the tanks and took out all of those tanks, this one is so much easier. But that few seconds, it was only like 3 seconds too they were distracted. It was long enough for Bunny to get like a couple extra shots in from each of those tanks. Oh man, getting the base kill, trading the army out. If he wasn't trading these army fights, these last two, the way he was, he'd be dead by now. Serral would be up like 50 supply.
I mean, both players, Serral is obviously a god, but Bunny is incredibly good at mech TVZ. We saw him just microing tanks. He's a little hard out there against, that's not so great for the Hellions, but he was microing his tanks. He's a little hard out there. He had like 3 tanks and 1 Hellion actually like fighting an engagement against a handful of Hydras. Another lovely Hellion run by here, getting 7 drones, going up to 9, 10, going down before those Hellions go down. That's a lovely trade there for Bunny.
Barbecues are nice, but funny enough, Bunny actually hasn't killed that many workers this game. In fact, he's killed about 3 hatcheries, which has been fantastic, and I think there's a 4th one canceled at a point, but yeah, the income game is all over the place. Actually, take a quick look at the graph. Like, it's up and down, it's up and down. Problem is, for Bunny, he's going to have to lift that main soon. He doesn't have an actual 4th ready to go. So, while he's been trading and keeping up, he's not going to be able to for very long.
Yeah, I mean, Mech on 3 bases has an hourglass. The sand's running through the hourglass here for Mech. You need to have more income. You need to have that 4th base. I mean, it's just Legacy of the Void in a nutshell. If you don't have a 4th on the way right now, you are going to start bleeding out resources, and if the game doesn't end in your favor, the guy with the more bases, which is Serral, by a fair margin, mind you, is going to start taking the game away from you.
I got really excited for a moment. Zamgrove in chat pointing out as well. Swarm host coming out, but it was perhaps a misclick. Only just one. Normally, Swarm hosts actually aren't that good for these late game engagements, but with how low the Hellion count has been and the fact that there's not really any Thors, Swarm hosts might be like an amazing answer to Breaking Bunny.
Yeah. Breaking Bunny is that new AMC show on the way. The counterattack there with the Hellions not finding anything. Obviously, that was a hatchery being created, not finished. No drones there. He had a pre-spread of tanks ready in that third base for those Vipers, so nice positioning there from Bunny. And the tank count is really his lifeline here. That's, you know, it's primarily a ground army for Serral, and tanks can trade for days against Hydralisks.
You know,
but Serral is starting to take the map.
Breaking Bunny sounds a lot less like an AMC show and a lot more like an SNL skit.
Yeah, or a Nickelodeon show.
Nice grabs by the Vipers, actually, but unfortunately, these Hellions help make this a little bit more worthwhile. So the tanks go down, yes, but then he trades out for all the Hydras, and Bunny's actually killed the Vipers. Dying to
the Vikings as well. Uh-oh. Now, losing the Hydras really sucks, but losing the Hydras and the Vipers, I mean, that's a little awkward for Serral here. Bunny's like, hey, if you lose all those units, I can maybe go for a counterattack and do a bit of damage to you. And Bunny seems to agree with me here. A lot of this tank's coming down. Another counterattack from Serral. He's so on top of this stuff.
This is not a planetary, unfortunately, but Blue Flame should clean this up. While this goes on, it's very important Bunny's pushing, because this secured him the transfer over to the base. Now he's going to need to get those refineries up, but it is, dude, it's so naked. There's nothing. There's not even deepest. There's no wall. Not that there's been a wall at any point in this game, but still, it's just nothing.
Oh my god. I just can't believe that there's a TVZ that's been going on for more than 15 minutes and he just hasn't had a wall up in his natural.
I'm more surprised Serral hasn't taken advantage of this. There should have been so many more Ling Run buys this game, honestly, with the fact that wall has just been a gaping hole, a huge, literal hole in the defense.
Now, these tanks are once again finding that lovely position here for the Terran, where it gets really tough for Zerg to engage. No, I mean, that's it for the Viper energy here. Starting to suck some juice out of that hatchery in the natural. And these Vipers are needed extremely desperately here. Serral does have an army, and he does have the army supply advantage, but it is very, very squishy. There's so many tanks here from Bunny, and the terrain plays a factor here as well. Good luck, have fun flanking it this time, Serral.
Ooh,
there we go. See, what do you do against this? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, what you do is you wish you had built a planetary.
Yeah, you certainly do. You need planetaries, man. I mean, one of the things about mech is that you have all those leftover minerals, so you just make lots and lots of CCs, and you start making planetaries everywhere.
But that's the thing about this. This is Bunny still playing 3-base all-in. Like, it's just an extended version of it. There's not really a concrete macro game behind it, but the army supplies here. He's got the pressure going to his opponent. This hatchery's almost dead from the Vipers.
Yeah, that's really low. Jesus.
There weren't
blinding clouds from the Vipers pick up one or more tanks, but there are a lot of tanks that he prepared earlier, and he's still sucking energy off of that. Yeah, go for the Evo. There you go.
Sucking it off real good. He's got a purty mouth. Actually, they don't. They're disgusting. Look at those mouths.
Oh my god.
There's like
when you nut,
9 layers of teeth.
Oh my god. Terrible memes coming down here from this casted viewer, but the Vipers just die every time they come in for an abduct.
Picks 2 off? Almost 2. Well, the other thing is, like, every time you abduct a tank, it's still going to get the shot off while it's mid-abduct. Like, these Hydras are still dying.
Yeah, see, he can't get the flank anymore. He's trying to position units to get that flank. Maybe pick up some of those reinforcements. Just 3 Hellbats here. Oh, actually, 2 Hellbats and a Hellion, technically, denying this hatchery.
Nice save with the Overlord. Oh, but the Hydra's in the middle of the map. Oh, demolished.
That's it, man. Serral's lost that side of the map.
This is a big problem, because Serral has an army supply, but it's not able to engage this. He's trying to set up for these surrounds, so Bunny's own flanks are kind of covering his own ass. There's the blinding clouds. We'll see if this is enough. Serral's big break, and it's his only chance to win the fight. But as Hellions come in, this looks better for Bunny. Blue flame of death. GG!
GG. Bunny takes a 2-0 lead in the series against probably the best Zerg in Europe right now. One of the best Zergs in the entire world. Damn.
Yeah, this is This is really good for Bunny. Absolutely outstanding performance in this tournament overall, but of course even better now, up 2-0. However, I don't want to get too excited because the last time we had someone up 2-0 and then up 3-0, they ended up losing, and I'm definitely cheering for Bunny. So nothing against Serral, guys. The one time we have Terran, my heart is going to the Terran.
I mean, we are 3 Terran casters, so we do like to see Terran do well, especially with the, you know, a lot of people seeming to think that they're so weak right now. And I'm one of those people that that disagree, but Bunny is flying that flag for TVZ dominance. He's looking really, really strong.
Yeah, he is. So a couple things here real quick, by the way, guys. First off, I actually got so excited that game, I was flailing my hands around when I was observing, and I smudged my glasses, so I'm going to have to go clean those during the intro. So if I'm late for a second, that's why. Dude, I'm a hand talker, so it's really difficult casting a game where I've got to have one hand on the mouse, one hand on the keyboard. And when the engagement goes down, I'm like, whoa! Swipe my glasses entirely. But secondly, I just want to give some love. Diesel Max Power, Dove and Wolf, Black Spade Camo. We got some of our regulars here in chat. They're blessing us with bits. We haven't really talked on it much, but just so you guys are fully aware, bits and donations, like that gets split 3 ways between myself, Maynard, and Zombie Grub. If you want to put money towards the players, all that money through the match arena will go towards the players. So again, the distinction is stuff that happens on Twitch, we split between us. Stuff that happens on match arena goes to the players. So if you want to throw money around, at least you can do it appropriately and have it go to the right places. But $7,148 in that prize pool. I'm ready when these players are ready. It's going to be Neon Violet Square. And see you guys in game. Yo, guys, thank you so much for that continued sub, love, the bits, the support. We'll get all you guys shouted out in a bit. But we got to get going with this series. We're a little bit behind schedule, but it's not so bad because we got good games for it. However, looking to maybe catch us up in other side of the map, in the bottom right, he's up 2-0. It's the red Terran, Bunny. And for emphasis, the Korean Bunny.
Yeah, the Dutch Bunny has been around for a while. Not the Dutch Bunny, I'm sorry. But the European Bunny hasn't been around for a while. This is Serral in the top left, and he's been kicking ass in 2017, taking names. He found himself in a WCS finals in Jönköping. And really, it's just a matter of time until he wins one, I feel. He's just been looking on fire. Unfortunately for him in this series, all of his stuff's been literally on fire because Bunny's been hitting him pretty hard with those blue flame Hellion run-bys.
Yeah.
And catching those Hydras in the minimap was pretty sick as well.
He's been really efficient, too, with this. It came a lot down for that last game is what stood out to me. Not that Bunny had good macro. I mean, frankly, he was 3-base all in. You can call it good macro, but you gotta use air quotes, I guess. The thing for me that stood out, though, was every time he took a fight, even when he was down, like, he still took the most efficient fight possible. Like those Thors, they were going to die, but he took out as many Hydras as possible, utilizing the Thors to the best of his capabilities. Hydras getting traded out for Hellions on the frequent. Like, I mean, just money for gas, or minerals for gas, like, just Bunny, for me, I just love the way he's using his units above all else right now. Bly had cool tactics and smart decision-making. DNS had great reaction times. And Bunny, in this instance, is just a guy who's using his units to the absolute fullest potential.
Yeah, man. Money for Hellions, drones for free. Low ground CC finishing up. Just regular openings for both players here. Nothing too crazy. Serral is one of those players, like a laser, loves to get that Overlord speed, so I fully expect that next 100 gas to go into that as well. I feel like, you know, your lasers, your Serrals, do like, there are some things, like especially my man Peg will bring up that, you know, your speed Overlord opener players, Zerg and ZvTs will have a few signs of like being a little bit sort of haphazard with their Overlords and with their units because they just feel like with speed they're invulnerable. But Serral's one of those guys that's just really, really clean, really crisp. And I mean, even though Bunny's doing so great in the series, I would be shocked if he didn't win a map in the series, or even the series in general. Like, yeah, he's down, but we've already seen one reverse upset tonight. Wouldn't be surprised. Would not be shocked. Would actually be hyped and pleased and honored to see it happen again, to cast it all go down.
It's just, first off, agree, 100% agree. But at the same time, like for Serral, I'm just so jaded on this. I want to see Bunny go through because I'm cheering for the Terran, but Serral has showed us such amazing games. I mean, I would hate for Serral to have like an 11 win streak or 10 win streak or whatever it was in the King of the Hill, then the amazing round of 80 he had to get here, all for it to fall apart to like a 4-0. You know, like it can't be that story. Right. It's got to be at least a little bit of fight back.
And Serral is still mining gas, hasn't quite got Overlord speed just yet. In fact, that one Overlord's looking like he's going to go down in that Marine there. But does see, once again, Bunny going for what appears to be the Cloak build, but what is not the Cloak build is just going straight into Liberator here with the Hellion. So he is changing it up in Game 3.
Yeah, this is really interesting. There's not a lot of dead space or even really air space to take advantage of. If you're going to use that Liberator, you know it's going to die to Queens.
You know it.
Also, third CC starts up pretty quick, so not going to be taking the pocket back base as most mech players do.
Yeah, well, I mean, generally, you know, it's all about the gas, but with mech, you can still hold this front base. Oh, getting a creep trim is nice. It's free damage is free damage.
It's part of the wall, Maynard, which he does actually have up this game.
Yeah, walls are good. Like, Bunny didn't need one on Ascension to Aya for some reason. Well, for Odyssey, rather, but walls are good. I still stand by that.
Yeah. Well, Lair on deck. We'll see what he chooses to go into. I'm a little bit surprised to see so much Baneley usage out of Serral. That's something kind of reserved for players like Rogue. But you are going to need some degree of Baneleys to wash off the Hellbats. There's no questioning that. But I almost feel like he's going too many Baneleys in a lot of these situations. They're just getting picked off by the tanks as he gets stuck in the back. And that might have a lot to do with why these trades aren't going that efficiently, but forget any of that right now. He doesn't have a transfuse ready to go. That gets the Queen. That's real nice.
It certainly does. And I think that Banelings are really good against Hellbats, but I actually think, hey, Banelings aren't amazing against Hellions because they can start a step back and really punish you for having, you know, a bunch of Banelings without speed and that sort of thing. We see the armories aren't done, so there aren't going to be Hellbats. It's just going to be straight up Hellions here. Bunny trying to go for the small path here in the low ground with a bit more of a choke point, which is where the Hellions want the Zerglings to chase him. Off creep into that little choke point down there. This Liberator.
Yeah, she set up. She didn't actually get all that much though, but still problems caused, and hoping Serral was looking the other direction.
All right, Bunny's starting to overextend with these Hellions a little bit now. He's lost a lot of them. He's only got 3 left. It's really, really dangerous to lose all of those. Of course, you need to try and keep your map control against the Zerg here, otherwise he will just counterattack you with whatever he wants, and you got to sit back. 1-1 all the way, already on the way for Bunny, so his upgrades a little bit quicker this game with the double armory dropping. And he is starting that Thor production to get into the Thor drop play. And once again, Lingbane Hydra on the menu for Serral.
There's a lot of interesting things to say about the matchup right now. One of them actually being addressed in chat that I was going to segue into anyways, was the whole mech versus biodynamic, right? What I find really interesting about this is, generally speaking, what's going on with mech now, it almost just feels like nothing with mech really truly changed. Like they buffed the transformation servos, but we didn't see any smart servo usage that game at all. They got rid of the upgrade costs for a lot of things, like drilling claw, not upgrade, excuse me, didn't get rid of, but reduced severely. And we're not seeing a lot of people take advantage of this. So like it's just so strange to me that mech is trending now when really not a lot changed in terms of it, but maybe it's just the Widow Mines taken away from the bio made them bad enough that mech's the only option. I really don't know.
It was that, and also the Infestor change making bio tough, and also the Swarm hosts not being as good
but see,
mobility-wise.
It's interesting being the Infestor change, though, because every Zerg player complained that, like, okay, well, the radius is bigger, we can't play without them being burrowed. So...
Oh, you absolutely can. I disagree with that.
I mean, I disagree with it, too, but I'm just saying it's just really interesting to see the way mech has become the standard, because it doesn't feel like there's been like when Thor had +1 armor for a week, mech became standard, then went right back to bio. Nothing like that has really happened, I think. But anyways, regardless of that, Bunny happy to play mech. He's got 2 wins under his belt. He's played his 3rd game pretty solid so far. Blue Flame on the way, but he is gonna have to worry about some drops.
Yeah, I was about to bring it up, but you know, we were talking about mech and the state of TVZ, but there is a pretty interesting play here from Serral. He is changing it up a little bit. The Overlord is going to drop a bunch of units here, and this is 3 Banelings and 2 Zerglings, because we know the Banelings don't finish off SCVs, but the Zerglings certainly do. And there's not a whole lot of anti-drop countermeasures here on the main base, so he has to circumnavigate.
But Bunny is quick to the draw. I like his reaction time in this, so this really isn't a problem. The other ones did manage to get through, but still hasn't killed much.
That was a juicy hit. None of the SCVs are dead, but they are extremely bruised. And rarely will you see a Terran repair them all.
One single SCV died this game, and I don't even know if it was there or if it was in like the early scouting phase or something, but man, like this is... Oh, there's no medevacs to heal this. No one's going to be repairing each other. That's a scary thing to let 2 Lings into this base at this point. That's a lot of dead SCVs.
You just don't see Terrans go, man, better repair all my SCVs, or, you know, better send a medevac down to that hurt mineral line. You don't really see that, so I expect those to be damaged for the rest of the game here. The Thor drop, heading over creep here, no chill. It's looking for any kind of damage.
Terran players need empathy. Like, how would they feel if they were those SCVs, right? Gets a not kill, but a cancel. Gonna cost him one of the Thors and one of the medevacs. That's a bit rough. While this goes on, he is gonna chase some queens down here at the bottom.
Transfuse?
Okay.
Yeah. With transfusion should be just fine here.
I thought he was going to transform into Hellbats, but he did not.
Yeah. I actually haven't seen Bunny get servo upgrades in the series yet.
Right, and that's what I brought up when I was talking about the whole mech dynamic earlier. Like, all these wonderful things that have been made cheaper and affordable and better for mech, no one's going for. Like, we'll see smart servo usually eventually, right? But Blue Flame's still the priority. Okay, but he's been sitting here with so much money, he could afford... It's like, what, 75 or something? It's super cheap.
Yeah, it is. It doesn't take long to finish either. But, I mean... The thing is, like, mech was sort of starting to become normal in TVZ before 4.0. So maybe it's just sort of snowballing a little bit.
Yeah. One of the things about Smart Servo that I want to see later, though, is better for Vikings dodging parasitic bombs by landing, but we'll see if that even comes into play or not. These Lings try to go for a runabout on the top side, but a tank is in such a good position, actually. Well, the depot might still go down. Almost all the Zerglings were dead on arrival.
Oh, these hurt SCVs, though.
Oh no, that's right. The same problem. We're talking about like literally 2 SCVs, 3 Lings at the base, 7 go down immediately. Oh my gosh! And some friendly fire at the end to top
Splash damage killing another couple. Yeah.
God damn it, Terran.
Yeah. Yeah, Terran doesn't repair those SCVs. I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen. I won't do it. I'm not gonna repair those SCVs. Hell no.
This is the real reason we need biovacs. There's medevacs to heal these SCVs, but he does put the wall back down. Helling's been left to here. This one shouldn't be nearly as bad to deal with.
Yeah, that should be just fine here. Meanwhile, Bunny going for a push on the other side of the map, and Serral needs to take this very, very seriously here. He's making 22 Lings. His army supply is not incredible. And Bunny's in one of these tough spots to dig him out of. Like, this is another tough tank line, and I'm not seeing too many Vipers here from Serral to be able to blinding cloud these tanks either.
The anti-air is questionable, but man, there's so few Vipers.
Oh, the hatchery's so low again. Yeah, sucks so much juice out of the hatchery.
Suck them dry.
Suck with 2 C's.
2 C's. And spread out 1 space at a time. We got missile turrets coming down the front line to really lock this down, but I don't know if they'll need them. Like I said, the anti-air is questionable, but there's no air to really take advantage of. The Vipers are out, throw out all their blinding clouds, but I mean, that's everything you see on the front line already wearing off. These tanks are spread out so nicely. There's still so many of them.
And he's dropping turrets on top of these tanks as well, just to make sure that the Vipers don't get too close to them for those blinding clouds, and nothing can get to get to those tanks from above.
One thing Serral's not doing that I almost wish he would do is it's almost like too few Vipers. Scarlet's a player who really showed me the power of this. Like, if you start going like 6 Vipers, sometimes 7, it'll get a lot more done than what you would have expected. But with 3, you barely have enough to do enough blinding clouds to cover the tank line, much less anything else. SCVs are repairing the tanks. Tanks are good enough to be repaired, apparently, in society.
I'd like to repair that Thor as well. The Thor's expensive.
Well, there you go, Maynard.
Thank you. Oh my god. Bunny, for me? You shouldn't have.
Alright, well, we got the gold base taken and secured. This is going to really help Bunny. I guess Serral's had a lot of bases, so, you know, money hadn't, past tense, been a problem. It's getting to be a problem now, though. Planetary's almost...
Big run by here. Oh, it's so close. This Liberator's like, I'll save you!
A for effort, but he's got the repair. I think he'll be okay.
Yeah. Planetary finishing just in time with that splash damage, etc. does do very, very, very well against Lings. And Bunny's positioned in one of these spots where there just is no real way to get a good flank on this army, especially considering there's turrets up as well. So the Vipers actually need to take turret damage to get down here, not to mention the Vikings. And this Thor is still alive with high impact payload mode ready for those air units of the Zerg. And he's still forced to make Hydralisks, which is exactly what Bunny wants with his +3 attack tanks.
Oh, the choke here in the middle of the map. The literal neon violet squares cost Serral all of his lings. He's making more, but it feels desperate at this point. There's so many Hellbats out. These lings can't get on top of the tanks. Even if this first wave of Hellbats goes down, there's more behind this. There's missile turrets, there's Thors, there's Vikings. Oh my god, Bunny. I think he's done it again.
Two of those really high-energy. Those two high-energy Vipers just died to the Vikings there because they got softened up so much from the turrets. But Bunny is just slow pushing Serral, and once again, Serral's been found between a rock and a hard place. Doesn't have the tools that he needs to stop this army. Like, yes, you know, there's a bunch of Zerg players in the chat right now that are going, hey, this is imbalanced. How do you stop mech? It's this A move, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's absolutely not. Second of all, there are ways to stop this. Zergs do it every day, all the time. But Serral, it's just been tough because Bunny's been doing it so well. He's been hitting the right timings. He's been having the Hellbats in the right place at the right time. Serral's been trying to go for Hydra's counterattacks, and Bunny keeps catching him in the middle of the act as well with his pants down. These SCVs are just, even the front line. See, these Hydras are coming to try and go for a flank, but every time Bunny's there with those Hellbats and those Hellions.
The positioning on this map, this cliff, the terrain, everything about this was so good for Bunny getting this foothold here. Really, this has created an almost impossible engagement path. Serral has no way to flank in from literally half. He's on the cliff. GG.
GG's. Yeah, I mean, there's some spots in several maps, like that choke point between the low ground expansion and the high ground on Ascension. There's like that exact position there when you are literally in range of 3 bases. If you get your siege tanks there, it's kind of up to Zerg to stop that position from getting taken by the Terran. And once it's taken, it's so hard to dig him out. And Bunny was like, you aren't digging me out. I'm going to build turrets all over this shit. You send in your Vipers for blinding clouds. You send anything towards me, I'm going to pick you off with Vikings. The turret's going to do the rest. And, yeah. Brilliant.
The turrets were like icing on the cake of an already secured position, too. Like, it wasn't like, oh my god, I'm desperately getting these up. Like, what do I do? This Venus.
All right, folks. I'm going to be subbed out, but I fully expect Serral to start winning maps now. Come on, Serral.
That's how this works, right? You rotate out, and the wins also rotate out, too. So it'll be myself and Zombie Grub when we get back, guys. A quick commercial break, though, while we take a small breather. You guys can take a look at the brackets, and we'll see you guys soon. All right, folks. Game number 4. And this could be it. He is on his very last life to the bottom right. It's the Blue Zerg, Serral.
The top left as the red Terran, he is Bunny.
Bunny?
Bunny.
Bunny. Whoa, thank you, Heavy Armor, for the 2,000 bits. It's 2 Christmas trees. 2.
Okay, take 2. Got some extra funds for Christmas. I'd throw some at my favorite streamers. What a nice guy. Of course, that reminder that we will be splitting this 3 ways. Myself, Maynard, Zombie. Everyone gets a bit of the action. Everyone gets some of that love. But spawning here to the top left, we got the red Terran, Bunny.
Zombie Girl did that.
Wait, did we do intros already? Am I so stupid right now?
Yeah, no,
I'm like really confused.
The intros are done.
Didn't I do intros?
She even said Bunny.
I got caught up in the bits, man. I got caught up in the bits.
I was like, maybe I really didn't do the intro.
Well, thank you, Maynard, for the sweet, sultry whispers, reminding me that I am stupid. But yeah, it's tough. Mech is proven to be a real tough nut to crack here, and Bunny's handling it well. This goes back to the point I made earlier. I really want to reiterate it for emphasis. He's using his units really well. This isn't just like Bunny's going mech and A moving, and this is some guy who's mouth breathing and went into his victory. Like, he's actually all the players today have really been playing super sick. It's just unfortunate that of all of them, Serral's the only one that doesn't look like he is, because he is being destroyed by this mech player.
DNS didn't look like that either for the first 3 games, so this is when you bring it back, Serral. Come on now.
That's what I'm thinking. There's gotta be. I'm hoping for the pattern.
There is a bit of a difference in how they lost their first 3 games. DNS was making some like really silly micro mistakes, letting Lings in when they shouldn't, not microing the Adepts. Serral is defending. He's getting to like 20-minute games, and then he's just hitting his head against the wall. So that to me is a little like, okay, maybe Serral can't bring it back more than DNS could bring it back, but I'm still hopeful. I think that, you know, and I mentioned, I think he Broodlord's last game, and apparently Soul's watching and he agreed, but there is a lack, I think, of like committal to tech swaps, I guess I'll call it. You know, he had that one Muta thing and it seemed kind of desperate at the last second, so that's why it didn't really work out. But, you know, he gets this bank. He gets a decent bank. He defends a lot of stuff. He gets an option to get all the tech structures possible. And then he still kind of only commits to Roach Hydra, or sorry, Ling, Baneling, Hydra, Viper. Instead of really swapping it up and forcing Bunny to swap it up too.
The other part of that too is composition-wise, for even just ignoring the tech swaps for a small moment here, it's the fact that he's still going Ling, Bane, Hydra. Very standard composition, works 9 times out of 10, but in these 3 games out of 7, it hasn't so far. So while I'm not saying he should urgently go Roaches or something, I do think there needs to be some sort of revising of what's going on. And it surprises me, I guess, because we saw Serral do almost one different build for every one of his 10 win streaks in the King of the Hill leading up to this point. Like, I know he has other builds in his repertoire.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, though, because Serral, as you know, he has a bunch of different builds. I think one of them was an all-in, if I remember correctly, and then everything else was still a macro game, just different compositions, different matchups. And I think that when you go for Roaches in this matchup, you are looking for more of a committed denial of a third base than you are of like Roach, Hydra, Viper, because Roaches really do fall off. But I just don't think he's willing to do that. I think it will be Ling, Baneling, Hydra again. Yeah,
I mean, likely for sure. We'll see as this comes into play. We got Hellions almost ready to go for the attack. This comes with the Marine, so it's Hellbat time, baby. Armor's done, transforms, and this could be a very dangerous attack. This has beaten people. This has won games.
But Serral has a Spine Crawler, so he doesn't have Banelings. That is a lot of extra damage. Unfortunately, the Queens do not have a Transfuse, and that would have been very helpful. Ooh. They don't quite get the medevac, but she's going to go down. This is a nice surround of Queens, so they're not getting that ultimate splash damage, but the Marines trying to really get in there. Take out this one Queen. She had a Transfuse, not anymore. It looks like all the Queens are going to go down, so while Serral is going to not take drone damage, he is taking a lot of damage.
Well, it's very important he gets these Queens, though, because the whole point of this attack was soften up. Oh, no, wow, 1 health, literally 1 health. Soften everything up for the Liberator that was coming up. If you killed all the Queens and lost everything for it, that means there's no anti-air, these Liberators reign supreme, but now there are going to be Queens, and this shouldn't be such a problem. I also want to give a very brief but very noteworthy thank you to Terminator for 3,000 Muxies cheered our way. Good morning to you, dude.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, 3 Queens and 26 Lings. I think it's actually a very, like, okay trade. It would have been a lot worse if maybe 35, 40 Lings and 4 or 5 Queens. I feel like he should have gotten that 4th Queen, but that was a start. And it looks like Serral's already replaced most of them, already got his Larvengex back up, preparing for the inevitable Banshee, because so far it's been very similar builds for Bunny as well. Hellbats, Banshees, Liberators, maybe a medevac instead at some point.
And that's where I bring up the topic of changing things quite a bit here for Serral. Again, not trying to harp on this too much, but realistically, Bunny's doing the same thing as well as Serral, and if the same thing's not working out, don't keep doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so deflect this okay for now. He's going to lose one of the Queens. That was the one with the Transfuse, actually, so this could kill some of the sustainability of these Queens. Oh, he's got a Spore Crawler, but oh, this is going to suck, losing another Queen. Now the Hellions come in. Almost come in.
Yeah. They thought about it, but the Lings are just going to be too fast. Brand new Creep Timbers. That's really nice. It's oftentimes laughable. Like, they have Queens. They're going to spread that anyways. But the fact that he's killed so many and they don't get enough for Transfuses means that if they do spread Creep, it's always like, well, am I putting myself in danger here? But it is getting around to that time. Too many Queens, too many Lings, too much Creep spread that Serral is going to be protected. The mid-game has come forward, and that's where Serral is going to have that time to get bases, get a bank, and only have to deal with, harassment. And he's dealt with that pretty well the last 3 games.
Yeah. Big thank you to Chaos Head, by the way. 25 bucks coming our way. It says, best stream ever. Or at least that's how I imagine he said it.
I bet it was. This is a little annoying.
They could actually sit out range of that Spore Crawler and kill the Hydra Den. Or deny upgrades? Well, actually, there'll be transfuses, so
yeah. Queen's already on the move. Everything is connected, including the mains, the natural. So really nice by Serral. Just needs to start pushing that forward and out. Now it is Catalyst, and this was Serral's map choice. I'm not sure what he's looking quite to grab from this map. You know, the chokes will initially favor the mech player, but when blinding clouds come in, then that's where maybe he's hoping there's more of a chance there. But Bunny has not just been spreading out like, you know, horizontally with his tanks. It's definitely been more about vertical hopscotching, and it's been going really well. So I'm actually really curious as to why Serral chose this map. Maybe he just feels comfortable on it.
Banishes getting pushed around. We got those double Thors, but looks like while this goes on, Banlings did get up here with a couple lings. 11 SCVs, 12 SCVs killed at this point. A few more going to go down, as there's nothing here to clean this up.
That's nice. I will say that, I guess in a way, as opposed to like Abyssal Reef, right? So where Abyssal Reef has like 4, even 5 bases pretty easily. Catalyst, you know, that 4th base gets like a little difficult unless you take it forward position, and then there's still that entire right side of the map open. Maybe hoping that there are going to be more of these opportunities to get SCV kills.
So, while it's certainly different that Banlings got in here and killed SCVs for once, he also didn't deal with the Thors like he has in every other game. So these actually get to the main, and this could be some troubles.
These Hellions have not killed anything except Creep Tumor, but they've killed a ton of Creep Tumor, successfully denying that main Creep Tumor push, which honestly at such a short map could be there already if those Hellions weren't on the ball.
15 Creep Tumors actually picked off, to be precise.
There you go. It's very rarely do you want to look at that, but that is an impressive stat. No Overseer over here, so these Banshees will reign supreme. Hellions take out the Banelings. What a huge waste of gas for Serral.
Oh no, these Hydras are going to get hunted down. Blue Flame is so good.
Yeah, he's taking an engagement. He's saying yes please to the mineral versus gas trade that just happened there. And Serral, that was unfortunate. He was looking to kind of contain a little bit, and that just entirely backfired with a lot of fire. Key thing there.
There's a dynamic, though, that does need to be addressed. If you have more Hydras, you will beat out the Hellions, and it won't look like a fair fight. In fact, the Hellions will look terrible. But the fact is, Bunny caught so many of them with such a big number. And I'm not trying to advocate for Terran, guys. I'm not trying to say this is balanced. Maybe it's imbalanced. But the point is, if you have enough Hydras, the Hellions don't do the damage that we're seeing them do. But with these Hydras always being caught out in smaller numbers through every game, too. Not even just now in the series. Like, that's why we're seeing these Hellions trade out so efficiently.
Yeah. And this is also, you know, I talked a bit about changing over into Broodlords, like the tech swaps. Serral has occasionally gotten the games where he's had 3,000, 2,000 in the bank. Some of the games, it's absolutely not been the case because Bunny has been so good about using his Hellions. And this is one of those games. He's taking out so many Hydras and Lings that Serral has to remake them just to make sure he doesn't get pushed. He's taking out so much creep spread that the vision is starting to get lost. Hellions continue to do damage because there's not enough vision to see them coming. It's really compounding into a better game for Bunny, and Serral is forced to only play Lane Baneling Hydra Viper because it's what he can afford.
I don't remember the last time I've seen Serral's creep spread look so bad. This is actually one of those things where you're like, was he even spread? Like, if you just tuned in, you're like, why wasn't Serral spreading creep this game? Until you realize he's been desperately trying to all game.
It's also, I think it's a little bit, as you can see, he's like started on the left side, but there is a lot of pressure on him to go in the middle first, and it didn't work. If he had started the left side and the right side, I think sooner he'd be kind of enveloping, and instead it does look kind of lame.
By the way, just a small note again with that control, Bunny actually keeps the Hellion alive. This Baneling's absolutely wasted. He's gonna bring an SCV for a sensor tower. I kind of like this actually, the use of sensor towers too, so he'll see things coming. But man, I don't think he needs to worry about run-bys, because Serral's gonna have to use every single unit in his arsenal to take an attack here.
He doesn't have Vipers. He cannot take on this army without Viper.
Oh, no.
And even then it's suspicious.
Who is it?
Who is it? It's Maynard? No, Maynard's just really being chill.
Au revoir, mon ami!
I thought Maynard was so still in the camera, I thought it was
He just like freezes deer in the head like, oh shit, I am from Australia. That's really unfortunate here for O Gaming. Hopefully they'll not have the series end like that for them. But if any of you guys are watching about streams, your friends of O Gaming, tell them they've got permission. I'm saying it here so everyone knows. They have full permission and blessing to restream the match from our point of view if they need to. But,
alright, a little bit of a blip, but not during engagement, thankfully.
Yo, there's like a Illuminati Venn diagram going on in those sensor towers, by the way.
Oh my god, this is gonna go terribly.
Maybe that's so terrible. No, this mule's coming down. Oh no! We've had a lot of smack talk, but we have never had somebody go as far as to Manor Mule. Oh, Bunny, what has become of you?
He is pretty happy about taking that 4-0.
Oh, man.
Totally unexpected, but Serral obviously having trouble against Bunny's mech. I mean, I think he won against a lot of other mech, but Bunny was so on point at every single turn.
I didn't realize that Bunny had a red lightsaber. I thought it was blue. Uh-oh.
Some lightsabers are red. All Jedi robes are brown. It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
No, man. Bunny's in a black robe, and he's got body and a red lightsaber.
Well, here's what's great, right? The sponsors of this start People Images, they were trying to encourage people to do a lot of smack talk, and there's like some language barriers, so maybe that was Bunny's equivalent of smack talk. I don't know, but well, the Manor Mules are a little bit BM, and frankly astonishing to see against, because this is Serral, right? This isn't some like random diamond player who won't leave the game. Like, I'm just surprised that he went for that at the end, but at the same time, really impressed with the 4-0. And the thing is, going up against DNS in these finals is going to be interesting for two reasons. One, DNS being in Korea means we'll play the finals on Korea. So it'll be Korea versus Korea, Bunny versus DNS. Secondly, Bunny did defeat Hero in the round of 8, best of 5. We know he can play TVP. So the question is, will DNS be prepared for that? Because I still don't think DNS is the underdog. I actually favor DNS in those finals still, but he is going to have to work for it. There's no doubt about it.
Well, he did beat TY, like we mentioned during his cast, so he's not no slouch in PvT, but it's going to be a very exciting final for sure.
It's going to be a tough final too, because like a lot of those GSL qualifiers and a lot of these other things we're referencing online, they're like best of 3s or best of 5s, and this grand finals is going to be a best of 9, so he's going to have to go the distance. So it's like, okay, he beat TY at GSL qualifiers. Could he beat TY 3 times in a row? Because that's essentially what you'll have to do here for the finals. Except in this case, it'd be Bunny. At any rate, folks, we're going to go update the brackets. We're going to take a last commercial break. We'll come back. We'll talk about what's happening tomorrow, because tomorrow will be the grand finals, and we'll see you soon. All right, folks, we're back. Thanks for watching that last break of the day. I'm actually going to turn StarCraft down really loud. But that does conclude the tournament today. So if you're just tuning in for whatever reason, quick, again, look at the brackets while we're talking this time. It is, of course, going to be Bunny versus DNS. Best of 9 grand finals tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. There's going to be a bronze place match, so it's only a best of 3 ZvZ and Bly in Serral. That'll start the day. And then, ooh. Thank you very much, Walgren, for that $5. Good sound. Red lightsaber. Damn, that was one. That was the best one in ages.
My joke wasn't that good, but thank you.
Also, thank you, Zeno, for the bits. But yeah, so tomorrow is going to be best of 3 into a best of 9. It's going to be Serral versus Bly into DNS versus Bunny. And I just realized now that the Matcherino payouts is actually not entirely accurate. I got to go update that slightly, because it has 3rd and 4th place at the same value right now, which it is not supposed to have. But that's just because I copy pasted this from another tournament. So we'll get that. Fix that in a bit. But yeah, a lot of money in the line. So like right now, like first place is basically like $3,000. You know, that's a lot of money to win. That's more money than the entire BTSL budget just for first place. So for Bunny and DNS, quite a lot of money on the line. But whoever loses tomorrow won't be too sad, walking away with $1,300 as well. Thanks to the folks at People Images, BTSL, Twitch, Corsair, and Corsair Cup, guys. Even though Corsair Cup's been technically pushed off to January, we're now paying out over $10,000 from the month of December alone. Like, not tournaments that we're carrying over from the rest of the year. Like, literally just December, we're able to pay out $10,000 in prizing. So fucking sick. And a lot of it's thanks to you guys helping us out, whether it's using codes on Matcherino, donating, subscribing, you name it. Like, thank you guys all so much for contributing in whatever way that you are doing it. Another 1,000 bits in chat from Black Spade Camo. This is for the fire that is ZG chatting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is really awesome. I think there's still codes left. We'll try and push out every single code that we got for tomorrow, but yeah, we're already over the $7,000 mark. That's fucking awesome to see. Pardon my French, but that is outstanding. So good month, good December, and good day. Before we take off though, let's all get our goodbyes out of the way. We'll start with Zombie Grub, since it's, I guess you just had the bits cheered for you. So if people want to follow you around, see what you're doing, catch some of the games you're playing, what do they do?
You can follow me on Twitter at DG Gaming, on Twitch Zombie Grub, and YouTube Zombie Grub. Okay, thanks.
Are you streaming at all today, or are you gonna be binging on Black Mirror?
I don't know. I should be streaming sometime today, but I don't know if it's gonna be afternoon or nighttime.
Okay. Well, of course, this will be actually, I think, the last cast of the year, right, for you?
Yeah. I'll see you next year.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Maybe we squeeze in some PUBG or StarCraft games or something. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll be back with Rotterdam actually coming in to take place as Zombie Up. So it'll be myself, Maynard, and Rotterdam for the grand finals. I'm really sad because Roddy missed his first cast, so it's a little bit awkward just like stepping into the finals. But this was something we had planned out beforehand a long time ago, guys. But I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be good times. And again, thank you for your year of service, Zombie Grub, as I salute.
You're welcome.
Actually, we'll talk about that after I let these guys go, because I do have some stuff to talk about with the stream, 2018, all this stuff. But Maynard, hit us up with your info, man.
I have a couple things. I'm on Twitch TV/Maynard. If you're enjoying Minecraft streams, also do some variety games lately as well. The next XCOM stream, and then I hope on here on BaseTrade after.
Stop. Hang on. Just stop. I'm stopping over Skype.
Yeah.
You're cutting out so much.
Oh.
All right, go ahead. Sorry, start again. Your audio should be better now. You have to unmute yourself on Skype, of course.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. So I'm back again. I'm Twitch TV/Maynard. I have a couple things to talk about. So, if you like, medium sort of mid-level ladder play with focus goals, that sort of thing, follow me at Twitch TV Maynard. I don't really do much on YouTube because it hardly seems worth it right now, unfortunately. But I do have a YouTube channel. But I primarily am on Twitch and on Twitter. If you want to interact with me, I'm more than happy to talk to anyone, especially if you're a StarCraft fan, which I'm sure most of you are. Right now, just as a bit of a plug, I am doing a 24-hour stream, probably the first week of January next year.
Oh.
As a celebration for hitting 200 subs. I know. I said I would. I didn't think I would hit 200 because I was 30 subs away before I said that.
Rookie move.
And then it happened.
Oh boy.
So now I have to do it because I'm a man of my word and I don't break promises, so I got to do it. And part of that stream is a big cast of a tournament that's happening based on my channel, so my Discord channel. There's a lot of signups for Platinum Diamond segment, so I've got 3 brackets: Platinum Diamond segment, and then there's a Masters and Grandmasters bracket, and then there's a Bronze Silver Gold bracket. And the Bronze Silver Gold bracket only has like 4 players in it, whereas the others are quite stacked. So if you're Bronze, Silver, Gold, and you would like to be a part of my Discord, please join. All the links to join in the challenge are in there. I'll put the link to my Discord in that chat as well. I do believe I have it in here somewhere. I'll find it while I'm talking. But I am more than keen to do a big cast as a big chunk of my 24-hour stream because I love casting StarCraft, and I love casting all levels of StarCraft, so I do not discriminate. I'm not one to tease a lower-level player as I'm a lower-level player myself, so please don't be ashamed. Please join in. It's also not one of those things where you show up and you just, like, have to play live. It's one of those things where you can actually meet up with your opponent at any time and all cast replays. So don't feel like you don't have the time for it or whatever, because it's literally on your clock. That's it.
While you've been talking, sorry, I'm giggling at Zombie Grub's snarky as fuck tweet she just put out there. But yeah, make sure to check it out. So what time, what day is that, Maynard? Did you say or no?
I haven't got an exact date for it, but it'll be probably like around 2 or 3 p.m. PST. It'll start, and it'll be on one of those days in early January. Early January is really, really busy because actually WCS Jönköping, Leipzig qualifiers start very, very early January for Australia. So the Oceania qualifier, I'll be in Sydney for those. So I want to do it between now and then, and that's on the 6th of January. So it'd be like, I don't know, maybe directly after New Year's. Who knows? Very, very soon.
Well, if the opportunity arises, I'll definitely try and throw you a host if we're doing anything that day, man. And good luck with it. On that note,
I'll need it.
On that note, we just scrapped January. So I'll keep this short and sweet as we leave. We had everything planned out for the next 3 months. It was perfect and it was amazing. And then just people dragging their feet through the holidays. I get it. You need time off. You're spending with your family. You're getting away with work. But like, man, just respond to one DM. One DM. There's like 2 companies I'm waiting on here. It's so frustrating. So rather than perhaps hodgepodge things together, we're just going to push things off and have our big event start off in February. That being said, I've talked with both Maynard, I've talked with both Zombie Grub, Wardy, etc. Like, we're going to keep trying to get more people on the channel. People seem to really be digging this. Don't get me wrong, I kind of miss the dynamic of like just doing everything with Zombie Grub, but it's been really fun interacting with all these other casters through this tournament, through some other stuff. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as well, as hopefully and excitingly we'll have everyone continue to come and go, I guess, as time goes on. Are you having fun there? Yeah. You get the biggest shit-eating troll grin on your face. Your chin is sticking out so far right now, man. But okay, to wrap things up, guys, be sure to check out the sponsors, peopleimages.com. Without them, this tournament wouldn't even be happening. I'm hoping that they'll follow through with a Season 2 and a Season 3, etc. Matcherino, of course, we've already hit that goal, but there's still codes left, so check them out as well. If you guys haven't already, hit the follow button here on BaseTradeTV. Tomorrow is the last scheduled cast of the year. But as I said, we'll try and get some stuff going, perhaps for some of that downtime. Nothing guaranteed, though, because I could honestly just use the time off. I am falling apart here at the end of the year. That being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter at riff_the_kings. Follow both my co-casters here on their various social medias. And have a great day, everybody. We'll go find somebody awesome to raid, give them some love, and actually, who's online right now? I'll pick and choose after. We'll see you guys later. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.